Alright, so who represents humanism in Blood Meridian? Um, the definition of humanism that we talked about in the discussion last week was logic, using logic and truth to better society as a whole, or to do the most good. Um, so how is that represented in Blood Meridian? I think that the kid is a representation of humanism. You can see this through multiple encounters that the kid has with minor characters, such as after um, the kid and the cowboy guys get attacked by the Indians. Um, the kid and one other survivor named Sproul, which is the maggot arm guy, stay together and try to look for civilization to get help and stuff. So it would have been more beneficial for the kid to have left Sproul because he could move faster, only worry about water and food for himself. It would be easier to hide his own healthy body, healthy uninjured body, instead of trying to hide himself and another injured person. But the kid stays with him for kind of no reason. Another instance is when Elias and the Mexicans are pursuing Glanton and the kid and their crew, and Shelby's dying in the desert and the kid is with him, and Shelby asks the kid to hide him under a bush so he doesn't die as horribly as he would otherwise die. And the kid does try to help him. He finds some good in himself and he attempts to drag Shelby under a bush to hide him, to give him the best death possible in the desert. But Shelby reaches for the kid's gun and tries to kill him because destruction. But despite that encounter, the kid still decides to do good when he meets up with Tate and his lame horse. He doesn't just ride off and try to find Glanton and the crew. He stays with Tate and walks with his horse instead of riding it. They switch off riding his horse, and the kid stays with him and risks his own life for hardly any reason, or so it seems. And he does almost get killed by Elias, and then also by hypothermia until his horse dies. He hardly has anything, no food or anything. Tate dies until the kid finally gets back to Glanton's crew, and he's not rewarded with anything. Nobody even really cares, but the kid just stays with him, with Glanton, and he stays with these people that could get him killed out of his own goodness for no other expected reward. In the discussion, when I stated this, I think Ian said that the kid wasn't a representation of humanism because of his earlier acts in the books, and also like other acts like scalping Indians and killing a bunch of Indians and stuff. But for example, he said that the kid isn't a representation of humanism because of the encounter with the Mexican bartender when he walked into the bar and was like, "Hey, I'll sweep your floor for a drink." And then so the kid sweeps his floor and then goes up to him and says, "Hey, where's my drink?" and the bartender doesn't speak English, so he's like, hey, thanks for sweeping my floor or whatever, get out, because you don't have money. And then the kid stabs him in the face with a bottle. But I think that those violent instances are McCarthy's opinions on human nature coming through the characters. Because McCarthy believes that humans are destined for ultimate destruction and we are innately destructive. So it's only logical for McCarthy's opinion to come through his characters. And I think that's why the kid acts the way he does sometimes, like when he stabs bartenders in the face, or when he follows this guy he just met to burn down an entire house and then run away. But the kid still doesn't kill the judge, which is interesting, even though he has multiple opportunities. I think three separate opportunities to kill the judge, and he doesn't. Even though it would be to, like, the kid and the ex-priest's best benefit to kill the judge, he doesn't. Because I think that the kid believes that there's more to the judge. There's something about the judge that is crucial to the existence of mankind. Because earlier in the book, when Glanton's crew is sitting around the campfire, people are, like, kind of talking about the judge, and they say that he is special and he knows a lot about a lot of different subjects. Like, he's really good at horseback riding, and he's fluent in a lot of different languages, and just all of this stuff that makes him really unique and a special asset to the group. And I think the kid picked up on that and realized that the judge is crucial to the survival of mankind. And when the judge and the kid meet again, at the end of the book, the judge says, I spoke in the desert for you, and you only, and you turned a deaf ear to me. So if the judge, I think Ian said that the judge was a representation of human nature. So if the judge is a representation of human nature, that means the kid didn't listen to human nature when it called out to him. And if human nature is a path for destruction, a path for ultimate destruction, the kid didn't listen to that, but instead pursued the good of society and a better society as a whole, which is humanism. Although it is McCarthy, and the kid is probably killed at the end anyways. But he does survive for a long time. Anyways, I think the kid is a representation of humanism because of the good he does without expected reward. And the counter arguments are invalid because those are McCarthy's opinion on human nature coming through the character.